Hi everyone, my name is Evelyn and I'm an undergrad student learning how to become a middle school science teacher. Today we'll be talking about genetics, Punnett squares, and how to use those Punnett squares to determine genetics of an offspring. So let's begin. First, let's talk about alleles. Alleles are the genes that are available within a gene pool. Now we receive alleles from our parents, one from our mother and one from our father. These alleles help determine genetic traits such as eye color. Now, let's talk about dominant and recessive traits. Recessive genes are inherited characteristics that are often masked by dominant genes. To receive a recessive trait in an offspring, two recessive alleles need to be present. An example of recessive traits would be blue, green, hazel eyes, or blonde and red hair. Now, let's talk about dominant traits. Dominant traits are the ones that are most favorable and most common. Some examples of dominant traits would include dark, brown or black hair, or brown eyes. While recessive genes need two recessive alleles in order to be passed down from parent to offspring, dominant only needs one dominant allele in order to be passed down. So now that we know what recessive and dominant genes are, is there a way to determine whether an offspring will receive these specific traits? The answer is yes, by using the tool Punnett squares. A Punnett square is a tool that can be used to predict the genetic makeup of an offspring, and it can show the different ways that alleles can combine. When drawing a Punnett square, you divide it into 4 spaces. Each space is worth 25%. Fun fact, during the 1900s when Reginald Punnett created his Punnett squares, he was the first one to be studying genetics at Cambridge and is credited to creating the genetics department at the university. So now that we understand all the terms, let's try doing a real life example and using a Punnett square to determine an offspring's eye color. So, we're going to be using my parents. My dad has brown eyes, and my mom has hazel eyes. So let's see what this looks like on a Punnett square. So here I've drawn a basic square with 4 spots, and we're going to figure out the alleles for them. So, as I said before, my dad has brown eyes, which is a dominant trait. So for this, we would use 2 capital B's. And when it comes to the letters, they don't have to be specific. They can be any letters you want as long as the uppercase represents dominant and lowercase represents recessive. As I said, my mom has hazel eyes. This is a recessive trait, so we will just use lowercase b's. Now we combine these to see what our results would be. So uppercase B, lowercase b, uppercase B, lowercase b, uppercase B, lowercase b, uppercase B, and lowercase b. Now we can see that each part has a dominant trait. And as we talked about before, you only need the one allele to be dominant in order for it to show up. So there is a 100% chance that this offspring would have brown eyes. Well, I hope this mini lesson has helped you better understand genetics, genes, alleles, and how to use Punnett squares to determine genes of offspring. That's it for now, and I hope you join us again. And have a great one. Bye.